What's going on, guys? My name is RagingRaptor and I welcome you to a new World of Tanks video, and today I want to talk about the single worst tier 8 premium tank in the game from my personal opinion on. And yes, it is the shovel tank, the M48 Räumpanzer. Why do I think it is that garbage? Because it took me way too long free marking this tank because this was a deal I had with the German community manager. This will be the last game I ever had to play for the gun mark, and I will go over exactly why I think this tank is absolute garbage. So here we are on the map Sand River in a tier 8 only gameplay, and yeah, I'm going to drive towards a more aggressive position where you usually go with a medium tank, especially with a medium tank where you can really use your gun depression. So the first thing you will probably notice that this tank is slow. It sadly is very slow. It doesn't really have good HP per ton ratio, and this is due to the fact that this tank doesn't really have a good engine, nor does it have a good power to weight ratio because of the added weight of the shovel. Because yes, it does give 30 millimeters of extra armor. The issue, however, with this is I don't really see the point in something where yes, it can take away on some heat rounds. Excuse me for that, but it's not that much, so I'm always like, why is it necessary anyway, you know? Oops, sorry for that mistake. It's really like, what's going on? Like, I understand that this tank has added weight because of the shovel, but the shovel doesn't really give any more additional armor. The big issue in that sense is that there are not very many tier 8 tanks which, for example, have heat as standard rounds. As far as I know, there are actually none, except for Object 416 and T69. Memes aside. Even the 416, if it gets decent enough for short shot, it has no problems penetrating your shovel tank, because in the end, there's only some small gaps between the shovel and the armor laying behind it. This is like the death sentence to a tank using spaced armor. Also, you might notice I am shooting APCRs or premium rounds. This is due to the fact I really got fed up. I needed 149 games to free mark in this tank. So this is why I decided to say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go full gold noob and shoot the premium rounds. Because let's be honest, let's keep on talking about the armor, because the armor is like, it's the main selling point because of the shovel, because of the turret, and that's it. The issue is, however, for example, let's say you have the... Let's for example make the idea of introducing the E5 again. Let's say it has incredible frontal strong turret armor, but the cupola is garbage. It's not going to be a good hull down tank because literally everybody can shoot through your turret. And that's the same issue with the Räumpanzer. The Räumpanzer has actually a very good turret front. And it's great for hull down, it's great for tanks, for its tier, it's very good armor. But because of this huge cupola, you cannot really try to really do shots over hull down. At least on, I don't know, 100 meters. It's impossible, basically. It gives you an added challenge of trying to find positions where you can, you know, try drive around, try find a spot where you can side scrape from the left side so your right hand cupola is hidden. But it's hard because not many maps support this, and then you have the other issue of you having not good mobility, you know. Anyway, if you want to make the Räumpanzer better in that sense, you would probably need to lose that cupola, in my opinion, or give it the same turret as the M48. It would make this tank in a whim so much better and much more comfortable to play. That's literally also the same thing Lord and Savior Skill for LTU said when I had a game against him and told him I'm free marking this tank right now. He said, yeah, it's garbage. The cupola kills this tank. And that's pretty much as it is. Then let's talk about the other main selling point of a gun, or of a tank. It's a gun. And here we run into the issue that we are facing tier 10 opponents here and there, and we have 205 millimeters of standard penetration and 255 millimeters of premium penetration. And the APs are slow. This is also why I decided to start using APCRs at the last stretch of gun marking this tank, because seriously it's very frustrating to try and snipe with this gun. Luckily enough though, this is where right now I was able to finally get the third mark, from the mod at least. But again, there could be things which change around. But again, the gun lacks penetration and it lacks accuracy. It has great gun stabilization, has a great aim time, but when your base accuracy is 0.42 or 0.44, it's not going to be good, you know. It really doesn't feel good, and there are a lot of missed shots on distances. So you can't really use it as a sniper, and already on 300 meters the gun starts to fall, starts to be very, very unfortunate and very, very bad at shooting targets at distance, you know. 300 meters is already like your death sentence. Then you might ask yourself, well, it's German, so maybe it has HESH? No, it does not, because in the end it's an American tank. Oh yeah, what about this tank could be a dual crew chainer like the Rudy is, because the Rudy got introduced, or the mechanic of the Rudy got introduced before this tank was introduced. That's like a little bit a lost opportunity for wargaming in my opinion, because yeah, it could have worked, in my opinion. You could have done something about that, and it would have given this tank a little bit more existence, or more point of existing, but like that, there's really no point in this tank ever existing. Then the next part is, again, we already talked about it quickly, the mobility. The mobility is trash, that the engine is way too weak for the shovel, and this tank just feels very, very sluggish and very, very slow. So you can't really go with mediums, so it's sometimes stuck even with heavy tanks, and there your armor is simply not good enough. The whole armor might be good here and there when you're being held down, but then again, most of the time you have stuff like which are shooting over here, through here, because they're slightly above of you, and sometimes I just feel the shield is not big enough, and literally the only real thing the shield gives you is the ability to hide your lower plate on every situation, you know, because it could troll people in thinking to not know where to hit the lower plate, where your real weak spot is. Again, you can see the accuracy is garbage, but the aim time is very, very quick, so it's really annoying, because I like good gun handling and I like quick aiming guns, and this tank really gives me that. But when the accuracy is this garbage, it's very, 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 very annoying. You have a very, very hard time to try and get a tanker in your optics, you know, or try to get hit him. This tank really, really made me a lot of salt. Like, I got very, 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 very salty while playing this tank, because I took me way too long to free mark this tank. I had to play way more games than I really wanted to play this tank. So yeah, here you can see I finally stopped using APCR rounds and started to try and use HE rounds, maybe get a shot into the Rheinmetall, which we did right there, a nice little pen hit. And that was very, very unlucky to not penetrate him. And now this makes me stand around a little bit longer and not noticing the ISU yoling down and giving me a shot. Again, as soon as you have something like a TD, or in that kind of sense, you have basically no chance of trying to survive this encounter. TDs have enough penetration to simply screw you over. And this was sadly the point where we lost the game. I could have won this game still if I wouldn't have been deleted by the ISU for half my HP. But again, this was my mistake. I took too long to kill the, what's it called, the Rheinmetall Borsigwaffenträger. And then I didn't pay attention to the Eiche, which haphazardly aimed in and killed me. So yeah, that was really unlucky when it came to winning and losing this game. But in the end, I was lucky enough to finally get the gun mark. It looks like for some reason I'm not allowed to win when I'm getting a gun mark, so I'm sorry for that, but it happens. It really does happen. Luckily enough, I can finally say, please do not buy this tank. Everything on this tank could deserve a buff. Even the fuel range. It's 380 meters its base, and it's bad, because let's be honest, you have a huge cupola. And like the 59 pattern does have good fuel range, 400 meters base. This one right here doesn't. And it's just very frustrating, really. It's really, really frustrating to play this tank and knowing, oh no, you don't really have good fuel range. You actually have to use rations to get good fuel range. Anyway, this was the game, and this was the aftermath of this game. Third gun mark finally completed. I'm very happy about that, because now I have to never play this tank ever again, except for people throwing money at me and saying you have to play it on stream. But yeah, 3200 damage was a pretty decent game. One thing I did forgot mentioning, it has pretty good DPM. I'm not going to lie, it's a great DPM and it's fun to use. But again, when you're missing like half of your shots or a third of your shots, you cut your DPM by a third, and it's very, very frustrating. You could see 0.38 accuracy, 13 HP per turn ratio if you round it up. It's just simply not good. Sadly, again, the Aisha did carry that game. Maybe in the end I would have died from the EBR, but the Aisha really, really did cost us the game. Or at least me being able to carry the game. Interestingly enough, even though I spammed a shite ton of APCR rounds, we did made a little bit of plus right there. 7,000 to be exact. Even though we bounced a lot of shots and we missed some shots. Kind of weird, but I take it, you know. Again, take this as a PSA. Please do not buy the Räumpanzer. I know it might be already clear. Wargaming is trying to sell it again. Don't do it. Kudos to Wargaming for giving away 2 weeks of premium for free to help quarantine stuff like that. That's a very good move. It was discussed in the CC Discord and everybody agreed on that it's a great move and it's a nice move from them. But yeah, I also finally got my second monitor again. My dad gave it back to me, so I'm happy with that. Thank you so much for watching. Keep your eyes peeled for a new video coming later today, where I am going to show you the other German medium tank in the game, the Räumpanzer M48, which I finally managed to also free mark. Took me longer than Phil X and then Ducky. Took me around 123 games to free market. I really am not that good at medium tanks which are made for brawling. I'm more of a medium light tank player, and that's totally what I like to do. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. My name is RagingRaptor. If you enjoy such videos, let me know in the comment section below. Feel free to subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Cheers, guys.